Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get it. When you get into the playoffs, your best players have to play better. And your role players have to be better role players. Now, what did I see from Milwaukee last night? I saw a team that came out early and did what was working in Game 5, where they went to Lopez early. Middleton was a little flat. Drew Holiday was good. Lopez was good. Then they get into the second quarter, and then they go away from that. And then all of a sudden, the light just came on. And then they just started rolling. And that was largely due to Middleton. He was a guy who, I can rival that performance in the third quarter up there with the great ones, with Eric Sleepy Floyd in '87 when he went for 29. I can't put it up there with Isaiah because Isaiah was hurt. So that was classic. But that production from him in that third quarter was what saved them. Because they didn't do much in that second quarter. He had 2 points. Drew Holiday had in that second quarter, he had 2 points. Drew Holiday had 1 point. They didn't do anything in that second quarter. So now when we get to the fourth quarter, when we have ourselves a fight, because Atlanta is facing an elimination game, so they're going to give you everything that they have, which they did. You have to stick to what works. Now, Milwaukee relies heavily on the long ball. And if you go look at the numbers, everything was pretty even. The rebounding battle. Milwaukee out-rebounded them by 3. The turnover battle, pretty even. Atlanta had 2 more turnovers than Milwaukee. In the end, my best player was better than your best player. Because if you watch Trae Young, he was a shell of himself. He didn't have much lift. He couldn't really do nothing going to the basket hard like he normally does. He wasn't really able to create space on the perimeter and get that lift on his shot like he normally does. Kevin Huerter wasn't Kevin Huerter last night. And he missed 8 of his 10 shots. He was hounded on switches. He was hounded by P.J. Tucker. He was hounded by Drew Holiday. Their defense did a really good job on him. And they did a good job on that team as a whole. Can Milwaukee win the NBA championship? Well, absolutely they can because they're here. And like I just said a minute ago, your best players have to be better. And your role players, like P.J. Tucker, have to be better. Bobby Portis was huge in this entire series, not just last night. He was huge for what they're doing. Rebounding the basketball in the offensive end, giving them second chance opportunities. That's going to be big in this series coming up. Milwaukee falls in love with the long ball, but that's their game. And they did that last night in the fourth quarter. And because they built the lead that they built in the third quarter, they were able to survive. I think that if they could have gone back to Lopez in the post a little more, because that's what they did to start the game. And that's what helped them tremendously. They did that to start the game, and that's what got them going. And then they went away from that. Now, again, I know that the big fella around the box and around the basket isn't sexy. I can appreciate that. But, man, it works. And when you go away from it, you lessen him. He's not as effective offensively or defensively because he doesn't feel like he's involved in the game. That's why Brook came out the way he did. And they had 8 points in the first quarter because they involved them early, 3 for 4 from the floor. Now, against Phoenix, this is going to be a problem for Brook because I think DeAndre Ayton could be the difference in this series. Because he's a better rim runner than Capella. He's a better offensive player than Capella, I think. And he could very well be the difference in this series. Being a rim protector, being a rebounder, getting out in transition like he does, playing off Chris Paul. With Brook Lopez standing out at the three-point line, well, that's going to be a problem on the defensive end because Ayton's not going to be at the three-point line. He's going to be underneath the basket. He's going to be rebounding. He's going to be blocking shots. He's going to be getting after it. I think that Milwaukee's best player in Middleton, I think he can be better than Chris Paul. I think Jrue Holiday is going to give Chris Paul everything that he's looking for. Now, is he going to be able to stop Chris Paul? I can't say that because none of these guys can really be stopped. But can he slow him down? He's going to have to. If they're going to have an opportunity to win, Chris Paul can't go 20-13. He can't go 22-12. You've got to slow this guy down in order for them to have an opportunity to win. Has to. Chris Paul can't have the court vision that he normally has. I mean, he's dealing with an all-league defender in Jrue Holiday. He's got to throw him off rhythm, and he's got to make things difficult for him. And if he can do that, they got a great shot. I think they got a great shot against Phoenix. Because our role players are just as good as your role players. This is going to come down to, in my opinion, this is going to come down to coaching. I do believe that. This is going to come down to coaching and how well Coach Bud adjusts in situations. If he can't adjust, Monty Williams, because Monty Williams does a great job at adjusting. And if he can't match that, that's going to be big. Middleton being the defender that he is, because Middleton doesn't get a lot of credit for the defender that he is. If he can neutralize Booker, because that's who he's going to be matched up against, him and Jrue Holiday. If he can neutralize him and he's got to match or cancel out whatever he's doing, and if he can do that, they have a really good shot at winning this thing. A really good shot at winning this thing. I stuck to my guns when I said that I can't bet on Chris Paul, even though I've been wrong all the way up to this point. I've been wrong all the way up to this point because I said that Atlanta was the healthiest, but it was obvious that Trae Young was a shell of himself, so they couldn't hold up. Chris Paul was beat up early, but he was able to overcome that, and he's crucial to what they're doing. Crucial to what they're doing. Even though they won 2 games without him early, he's crucial to what they're doing. He makes them even better. He gives them the floor leader that they don't have. And especially against a team like this where I think Milwaukee's role players are better than Phoenix's role players, I think it's going to come down to neutralizing Chris Paul, keeping Devin Booker even, and DeAndre Ayton. In addition to coaching. I think that's going to be the difference in this series. And I think that Phoenix could very well win the NBA championship. I'm sure that a lot of people have them winning it. I don't think Giannis is going to play. I mean, this is an injury that if this was the regular season, he'd be out for a month. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to Joel Embiid early. That's why he didn't win the league MVP. It's the same thing that happened to him. So with a hyperextended knee, it takes a while to heal up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play this entire series. He might try to give it a go, but in the end, I doubt that he'll play. So they're going to be shorthanded without their best player. which is why our better players have to play even better. Phoenix winning the NBA championship, especially considering after what I saw last year, with them not making the playoffs, it sounds crazy to me, but it's not something that's unrealistic because of where we are right now. And I very much think that they can win the NBA championship. Okay, all right, guys. We'll get back after this again. It's good to see you. Be well.